Howdy, folks. I'm a spectacular, sordid sardine.
I'm Amber.
And here's some more sardines. Alright, folks, our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Embarrassing My Neighbor Because They Didn't Understand Me and I Refuse to Switch to English? I'm a 29-year-old female, and my husband is a 31-year-old male, and we moved into a nice flat near the city center. We're in England. It's a rather nice area. Our next-door neighbor has a balcony next to ours. My husband is half Spanish and half Polish, and I am Polish. We speak both languages and often speak in a weird amalgamation of both, sometimes adding English into the mix. Anyways, both languages are spoken rather fast, or they seem so, and can sound a bit aggressive if you're not used to them. I've had people assume that I was angry because of how the language sounded to them when I was having a completely pleasant conversation. My neighbor was no exception. She heard us talking and must have assumed that we were arguing. We weren't. She approached me and asked me, concerned, if I was okay. I was confused, and she explained that she had heard our arguments. I explained that I was fine and that we hadn't argued at all. I suggested that it might be because of how harsh both languages can sound. She didn't believe me and told me that she was there if I needed some help. I told my husband, and we laughed and decided to speak a bit more quietly just in case. One day, we were chatting and joking when 2 police officers knocked on our door. Someone called with concerns about my well-being. We explained the situation, they took me aside, and I had to explain everything. It was humiliating, even more so for my poor husband. The next day, my neighbor approached me again, and I repeated that we weren't arguing and that she had to let it go. She told me that she wouldn't have to worry if we just switched to English. I told her that we wouldn't be doing that, and she'd have to take my word for it and stop bothering us. Well, last night, she posted a recording to our neighbors group. It was me having a good time with my husband, joking around. She said that she believed that I was in danger and asked what to do and who to report it to because I was in denial. People are agreeing with her, calling me names, and told her to keep recording because I was covering for him and complaining about how difficult it was to help foreigners when they don't even speak English. They called me all sorts of names for covering for my husband, and I was just confused. It wasn't until someone who spoke Spanish chimed in and said that we weren't arguing. Someone else who spoke Polish said the same thing and told her to mind her own business instead of recording people. She removed the recording. Today, she knocked on my door, shouting at me, telling me that I humiliated her, and I must have done it to toy with her when she was just concerned. I told her that I explained to her many times, but she wouldn't listen. She kept shouting and calling me names, and I just shut the door in her face. My neighbor is still furious with me, and I'm confused, and I do feel bad because I understand that where she was coming from, and she had good intentions. Should I have switched to English just to avoid the whole situation? It would be an easy fix. Am I the jerk for confusing her? I just want to clarify that we weren't really loud. Our walls are thin, and I can easily hear her talking in the flat, and she talks normally if she's in the adjacent room. She's recording from the balcony, and we heard the balcony door open, and we were chatting inside. She video recorded us from the balcony when she was outside. Our balconies are very close. Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. What really upsets me about this one the most is how infantilizing the neighbor and her whole group of people are.
Yeah.
I understand being distressed if you think domestic violence is happening, but you have to trust that people in domestic violence situations are competent individuals who know the ins and outs of their situation better than you do. And she started off okay. There's nothing wrong with going to check up on someone and just asking, hey, how are you? I heard some sounds, but then you have to kind of take them at their word.
Yeah. Well, and then also on top of that, everyone has a personal translator in their pocket, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone has Google Translate. If she's really that concerned, she can pull out her translator, translate their conversation if she's really worried about them having some kind of argument.
Well, and also calling the police too was an unnecessary escalation and can be dangerous in some situations. It's definitely not a go-to if you just hear people talking very loudly in their own apartment.
I mean, I think if they had heard screaming and breaking of things, and that might have been a time to call the police. and or check on them. But when they're just having a conversation and it might sound angry to you, doesn't necessarily mean that it is an argument, right?
Yeah, well, honestly, the best thing to do if you feel like someone may be in danger, like you just hear arguing or something, is just call your local domestic violence resource center and describe the situation to them. People don't always know that they are available to help people who are not immediately in the domestic violence situation as well. So you can call them, you can describe what's happening. I hopefully, if she said, my neighbors are talking loudly in a foreign language, they would be like, okay, like that happens.
Yeah.
So if you are in a situation like this and you have any questions about how to proceed, they're going to be the people who will best how to help you. But publicly shaming your neighbor on the internet is not the way to help someone you think is a domestic violence survivor.
Yeah, exactly. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Specialist After 511 says, not the jerk, this is beyond insane. I would publicly post about this neighbor. She humiliated herself. I would post your experience and that people need to understand that you are being harassed by this woman and that she called the police on you both because you speak a different language in your own home, and that she told you to speak English. You don't appreciate your good husband or your names being dragged through the mud. She deserves further humiliation, and you deserve to clear both of your names. I guarantee this isn't really about a harsh-sounding language. Also, where you live is being recorded secretly legal. And OP replies, I'm not sure. I would have to check whether secret recordings are legal or not. Alright folks, our next letter is titled, I'm a 21-year-old female, and I think that my 23-year-old male boyfriend is cheating on me. And this one was submitted by the OP. They wanted some advice, so any advice for them is appreciated. I'm a 20-year-old female, and I've been dating my boyfriend, a 23-year-old male, for almost a year now, and I love him dearly. We have never had any issues and always been able to work things out between us, and I will be moving to another city for a new job in a few weeks and won't be able to see him in person as much anymore. I know for sure we unfortunately will not be having any adult fun time together once I do. He recently has been acting distant text-wise, and we haven't been able to see each other as much during the week. To make the long story short, we haven't been able to have adult fun time for a while. I know how needy he can be with that, and I know that he has been wanting to film us so that we both have something to watch when we aren't together, when we are finally long distance, but I haven't agreed yet because of my own personal issues. I recently, like 5 minutes ago, went on the Orange and Black website and saw 3 videos posted last night of a guy and a girl, but all you could see was their bodies and the sheets. In the video, it looked like the same shirt and shorts that he had worn last night. We weren't able to do that deed last night before and had a good makeout session before I drove home. In the video, it looked like his room in the dark, but I couldn't tell. The floor and the wall coloring looked just like his. I'm having a panic attack right now, and I don't know what to believe. The camera quality wasn't the best, just like his phone, and I really don't know what to think. He loves me more than the moon and has never shown any signs of cheating or anything, but I'm scared right now. What do I do? Do I confront him over a hunch? I know I probably sound crazy right now, but please someone give me some advice. And there is a little bit of an update. She did text him and he denied everything, of course. But the videos did get deleted after that. That's a little bit suspicious. Basically, he said when she pointed the video out to him that she should put her glasses on. So it's a difficult situation. So, all right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, I think it's mighty suspicious that all those videos just happened to disappear at that same time.
What are the chances?
Yeah, like it's possible, but it's also like things are like if he's been more distant lately, it may be this relationship has just run its course.
Well, I want to first address recording yourself in a video, and I think that that's a good place to start. If you record a video like that, then unfortunately, you really, really have to trust whoever you're sending that video to. And then you also have to trust that their phone isn't going to be compromised in some way or hacked, and that those videos aren't going to make it out there. Because you might trust somebody, but then if they have their phone compromised somehow, then those videos could still make it out onto the internet.
Yeah, well, and no matter how much you trust someone else, like sometimes people prove to be less than trustworthy. And someone you're already having doubts about, like someone who's already acting distant and cold,
Yeah.
is probably not a good person to be filming those sort of things with right now.
Yeah, I think that there are certainly troubles here to work out. The best way to have approached a situation like this would have been just to sit down and talk to him in person, and then that way you could have shown him the videos and then asked to see if he was comfortable, to see if there were any videos like that on his phone, and then that way he could have either come clean if that was the case, been, saying, oh no, this is me, not me, my phone's perfectly fine, or just if he was very much into privacy, he might have said, well, I mean, you're just going to have to trust me because I'm a private person and I don't really show my phone to people, right? So it's a difficult situation because there are a lot of nuances in that respect too. It's kind of a no-win situation.
Well, this is the sort of thing where I'm like, if I were in OP's shoes, I would be wanting to see his phone. But if you get to that point in a relationship, that is a sign it is a bad relationship.
Yeah,
like if you cannot trust your partner, because I have easy access to Brian's phone. I could look through it if I wanted to, but I just don't have any need to because I trust him fully. And if your trust has been, degraded to a point where you're starting to think, should I go through my partner's phone? Like, that's not a good sign.
Yeah. And I mean, another recommendation that I think that you could have done in a situation like this, if someone finds themselves in a similar situation, is just to sit and monitor that channel, because if something incriminating eventually pops up, or clearing someone's name too, right? Maybe if the room is more visible in one of the things, and you're like, oh, that's clearly not the same room, right? Certainly, I think that there are ways to go about this, but it's a very tricky situation with a lot of nuance, and it's not a good place to be at. So I really do feel bad for poor OP here.
Yeah, well, and you are leaving for a new job soon. It may be a great time for a clean break.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a rough situation. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some coffee right here, and Amber's got a joke.
What do you get when you cross an elephant with a fish?
Well, when you cross an elephant with a fish, you get a whale, of course, because that's basically what whales are, right? They're giant fish. That seems pretty reasonable.
Swimming trunks.
You get swimming trunks. It's morbid.
How is that morbid?
Are you gonna wear the elephant now?
No, it's just like an elephant, has a trunk, and it's swimming. So.
Okay. Sounds more like you want to wear an elephant.
No.
And like I said, I have coffee. Alright, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're having a great sleepy Sunday. Amber, are you having a great sleepy Sunday?
I'm very sleepy.
Amber is very sleepy. Amber, we need some moral guidance in spite of your sleepiness. Please have it involve some foreign language.
If you hear people speaking in a foreign language, do not assume it is abusive.
Yeah, that's a good solid bit of advice. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.